We are all called to be God's stewards, and God's stewards in this place, on this corner, but also particularly in this time. I'm Gordon Mapes, pastor here at Chester Presbyterian Church, as many of you know. And 6 years ago, we learned of a dire need in the area. We found out that the Bermuda district in which we are located has the highest concentration of poverty of all the magisterial districts in Chesterfield County. So many of us looked around and thought about how might we address that need. And we saw that we had a lot of ministries already involved in food ministry, backpacks, and working with the food bank and the food pantry. We also recognized we had a lot of folks that, love the kitchen, like to cook, like to be involved in that. We had a lot of folks that desired a Wednesday night dinner. And we knew of older adults that often were eating alone. Add those three things together, the Wednesday night desire, the gifts of cooks, and that need in the community, and we created a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. And that was Grace Cafe.
I'm Cliff Noe, and I'm chair of Grace Cafe at Chester Presbyterian Church. This is a project that we started 5 years ago in October of 2015, and we have been doing meals every Tuesday night to anyone who wanted to come in.
5 years ago, as Cliff noted, we launched Grace Cafe, and since that time, with only 1 or 2 Tuesdays when we've been dark, we have served over 29,000 meals. And that's thank you to your stewardship of this corner, of this building, of this facility, and your involvement and stewardship of serving and cooking and dishing out and preparing and sharing a meal with friends and neighbors in the community.
With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, we went to a to-go meal mid-March of this year, 2020. We are averaging 90 meals each week just for to-go. We were averaging around 120 meals through our doors when we were doing a full meal inside. 6 cook teams and a service group headed up by Bruce Fletcher and Deborah Regal. And then our cook teams all take part in rotating. And then we have some other one-offs that have been coming in to help out and give some relief to the cook teams who week in and week out put out what we consider a very quality meal, and those have been well received by our patrons, who are about 70% non-Chester members. This project is dependent solely on donations, and through that effort we have been able to replenish and replace equipment in the kitchen.
We were, as Cliff noted, able to pivot without missing a week when COVID struck. No longer able to dine in person, we quickly turned to a drive-through service, and as Cliff noted, we've continued to serve, and there we've done over 2,300 meals since COVID began, and look forward to continuing that service, but also to one sometime in the future, returning indoors where we might again enjoy in community Grace Cafe. But thank you for being God's stewards and answering that call on this corner. Shalom.